I'm Dylan from Velocity Tech Solutions, and today we're going to be doing an overview on a Dell R910 server. So first we'll get it open. Now the R910 comes with support for up to 4 processors. These processors can have up to 8 cores per, which actually brings the total of threads to 64 threads in total, assuming you have it fully filled up. The main board uses the Intel 7500 chipset, and the main benefit of the R910 is the memory risers and the ability to have an extremely large amount of memory. The way they're oriented is there's 2 memory risers per processor, so that makes a total of 8 memory risers in total when you have the machine filled up. There are 8 slots per riser, which gives a total of 64 DIMM slots in total. So, with 32 gigabyte DIMMs, you can actually have up to 2 terabytes of memory inside of this machine. So it can get pretty beefy. Now the PCI layout on this can vary depending on how you have it set up. The standard layout comes with 7 PCI Express Gen 2 slots. Now the way those are configured is there are 2 X4 slots, 4 X8 slots, and 1 X16 slot. So there's a good amount of expansion capability in this machine. Now for a non-standard layout, you actually can get an extra riser that gives you access to 10 PCIe slots with 6 X4 slots and 4 X8 slots. Now for the RAID configuration on these machines, they can either take the H700 or the H200. Now the H200 is generally the lower end one. It only really has support for RAID 0, 1, and 10 and doesn't have any cache. Now the higher end one, which generally would come with it, is an H700 that comes with cache, either 512 megabytes or a gigabyte, and also has support for RAID 5 and 6 as well. Now as far as the hard drive configuration goes on this machine, it can either come standard with 4 2.5-inch drives, but it can be expanded all the way out to 16 2.5-inch drives with the proper backplane. So you can actually see it's currently in the standard configuration, but you can see there's expandability that you can get, assuming you get the proper backplane. Now on this machine there's a large amount of networking options that you can run on here. Because the network ports are not actually integrated onto the board, there's actually a swappable riser that has different types of NIC ports depending on essentially what you need this machine to be doing. So, if you look on the back, you should notice standard, it comes with just 4 1 gigabit Ethernet ports. However, you can get this with up to 10 gigabit base T ports. So there's a good amount of variation that you can do depending on what's required in the machine. Now lastly, as far as the power goes on this machine, depending on how you have it configured, it can take up to 4 750 or 1100 watt power supplies. That will obviously depend on what you have within the machine. Generally the 750 is enough outside of a fully loaded machine. Lastly, this machine comes with the Idrac 6 Express installed. However, there's also the ability to get an Idrac Enterprise, which gives a couple extra features such as video over LAN and a couple other things. So that covers most of the R910. Hope this helps, and visit us at velocitytechsolutions.com.